Now, a weather event that happened over a year ago is being blamed for the falling debris at the old Carlton Hotel parking garage in downtown Tyler. Tonight, Elm Street remains closed as a result of that falling debris last week. KLTV7's Emma Burns tells us why reopening the street will require extra steps.
The historic Carlton Hotel in downtown Tyler became a safety concern as bricks fell from the fourth floor of the parking garage. City officials quickly moved to secure the area and to begin investigating the cause. Amber Verona, City of Tyler's Main Street director, says a portion of Elm Street will remain closed until the area is deemed safe.
We've closed it off because right now we haven't seen additional bricks fall, but we don't know the true integrity of the structure right now.
The building's owner, North Companies, brought on a structural engineer to assess the condition of the parking garage. North Director of Development Elsa Stow says the assessment revealed the reason for the collapse.
There was a lightning strike in April of 2024 that damaged the top of the parking structure, and we immediately removed the compromised areas then. And after doing further assessment with the engineer, it looks like the entire structure may have been compromised from the lightning strike.
North had plans to renovate the Carlton buildings, but keep the historical integrity. Now, they're working with engineers to determine if the entire parking structure needs to be demolished.
It was never in the plan to fully demolish or to take down any walls, but at this time, this could be the path forward.
Due to the building's historic designation from the U.S. National Park Service, North must first secure approval to begin any demolition. Emma Burns, KLTV 7 News.
And North is still working with engineers to develop a timeline and plans for what the future holds for the Carlton Hotel.